Yo guys, TJ Bears here, and I don't drink enough water. Yes, I do not. That is why I want to start this vlog series, and I always say I'm gonna start this series, that series, and I always wind up being too busy to start a series, but this is something that I can basically just do. It's not so much work. So, this is my bottle of water, and it has to be empty at the end of this vlog. I think it's a good idea, because it's, of course, very important to drink enough. My dad's always stressed it. It's not like I'm a daddy's boy or something like that, but I've been to his job and I've seen so many people that are hooked up to a machine for the rest of their life because their kidneys don't work anymore, and that's not something that I want. Therefore I shall drink water. Water is the best thing to drink. Beer is fun to drink, of course, but it's not something that counts as drinking more. It's like alcoholic drinking more. It doesn't count as healthy drinking more. So yeah, sodas either. I mean, there was a period back in the days when I was like actively drinking sodas, and I felt so bad at the end of every day, and at the morning I felt like I was dried out for some reason, and it's just not good. And people, of course, people say it a lot, like cola isn't good, this isn't good for that, this isn't good for that. Oh, but that is good for that. And it's sort of, you just need to find some sort of equilibrium between everything, and you need to make sure that you drink enough of that, you eat enough of that, but never the extreme, never too less, too much, and that's something you need to pay attention to. I hope this gets finished actually by the end of, I'm gonna try to make it like 10 minutes, something like that, and I'm gonna try to not go over that time. But yes, here we are, guys. I've actually been pretty busy, and this morning I feel like I'm still sleeping. This morning I woke up too late, essentially, for university, and I had to be there like at 8:30, and my mom woke me at 7:30, and it was the following scenario: just sleeping, and then my mom just entering, asking me, at what time do you need to be on school? And I'm like, 7:30. Let me sleep, woman. And she's like, no, 8:30. And she was like, it's 7:30. Oh damn, that means I'm screwed. So I started packing my things like this. I need this. A cat, what the fuck is it doing here? Throwing it away. Just getting some clothes on, and basically just running as fast as I could to the bus stop. And I ended up being 20 minutes late, so I think that's sort of a very good rush to school. I think I did decently well on that point. Yeah, that's what happened this morning, and it's sort of awkward because it's not like a university, it's not a classroom like it used to be back in the days. It's a fucking room with 500 people. If you wind up like half an hour late and you enter, everyone's like, ooh, look at that dude, he's too late today, ooh, bad boy. I'm like, yeah, bad boys, what you gonna do? Because I can. No, of course I cannot. Nobody can be too late for this kind of stuff. Yes. And I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. One of these things is, what was it? I actually forgot it. That's stupid. No, I'm actually going to be doing a cover from a certain song. That's why my guitar is laying there, insinuating all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to be playing it right now, but I'm definitely going to play it in the near future. A friend of mine asked me to do a cover of Wildest Moments by an artist. I don't know, I don't remember who it is. I'm bad with names. Normally artist it's fine, but other people's names I just forget it like instantly. Like a mouse. So yes, as I said, this is going to be pretty regularly that I'm going to be doing this, just because I want to make sure that I drink enough water on a regular basis. It's very important. It's not like it's summer or anything, but it's just important. My parents always tell that I don't drink enough. But yes, so I'm going to be busy with guitar. That's what I'm going to be doing. And as far as gaming goes, of course I have the Let's Play. Probably going to do an episode about that tomorrow. Couple of them, because it's very handy, of course, if you have them episodes that you can store, sort of, and that you can always grasp back to if you don't feel like making anything, any movies or anything like that. you can always sort of grasp back to that and, oh, an episode of that, that's awesome. But right now, sort of no content on my on my hard drive. It's not a hard drive, I can't call it a hard drive, I think. Basically just no content on my computer, and I was like really stressing out, like what the hell am I gonna do? And then suddenly this popped in my mind. So yes, I guess it's not such a bad idea. I think it's a good thing. Drinking more. So yes, I'm actually pretty happy that I'm doing this, to be honest. It's something that I never saw myself doing. Definitely not in front of YouTube. But yeah, one thing I remember what I want to talk about. So basically, things that I've noticed recently is that my music taste sort of has evolved from like rock music. I mean, I've been listening to rock music since I was 6 years. I mean, I was basically just born when my daddy just grasped a Foo Fighters CDs, like, you gotta listen to this, and I was like, so I listened, and I became a fan pretty much from the moment I knew Dutch. And that's actually a funny story, because since I started like listening to the Foo Fighters, we had, I believe, some English people, no, Canadian people moved in the house next to us, and they had a daughter which I liked very much, not as in a relationship thing. I mean, we were young, we didn't even know about relationships back in the days, I guess. Yeah, so we basically we hit it off, and she taught me. I don't know how that process went, but I've been talking English since I was 6 years. So basically, first I learned Dutch, and I could barely write Dutch when I started like learning English, and I think that's something that definitely helped me. During my commentaries, I can definitely not ignore that fact, and I'm happy that I got to know these people. And unfortunately, they moved to another country. I believe it's Japan. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but definitely I think it's important to sort of learn new languages, I guess. English is very important, but in my own country, Dutch and French is very important, which I didn't have this year in school. It's very weird, but nonetheless I don't have French. But I like to speak different languages to different people. It's whenever I'm gaming, I just love to speak French. I just love to try to speak German, because not one of my better languages, to be honest, but I guess I manage. So that's good. So yes, music taste, long way of saying that, but I think my music taste definitely evolved from rock to more extreme versions of rock. Not like I'm listening heavy metal right now, but I sort of always loved the vibe of heavy rock music, and I never actually particularly got into screamo music, but I just got into bands like Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, and these bands do some screamo very oftenly, and I really liked it. It was sort of like, what is happening to me back in the days? If you would have let me listen to that particular type of, what am I doing with this hand now? It's not mine, it's my stepdad's. Sorry. But if you let me hear this music that I'm listening to now, I'd probably say I'm never gonna listen to that shit ever voluntarily. But look where I am now, I'm listening to it. So yes, I guess people change. Music tastes change in the same way, and I think throughout people's experience in life, I think your music taste sort of evolves with that, if that makes any type of sense. But I think that's definitely been the case with me. Definitely since, I've been very insecure at a certain part of my life. Therefore, I listen to things that I called harder music, like rock music. But after that, I was just like frustrated, like a very long time, for love reasons, again. And I was like in a dark period of my life, and I started like drinking even, like not over excessively. Not that I was sick every time, but the next day I just always automatically sort of regretted the fact that I started drinking that last night, the night before that. And music sort of got me through, and I started to listen to more extreme versions of music, screamo. It was sort of an outlet for anger and angst and insecurity of mine, and it definitely felt good, listening to something different, but it was definitely something that I could sort of recognize myself in, if that makes any sense. So now you know my music, but what, I think I never actually talked about that on this channel. I had an older channel, as you know, but what are the things that I actually watch in particular? So I'm gonna grab something here. If you guys have a second for me. Don't fall, please. Yes, awesome. So as you can see, I've got Battlestar Galactica and Battlestar Galactica. Other side, Battlestar Galactica, and some more Battlestar Galactica. Funny story about that is that I watched the 4, because these are mine. My dad has the first one, first season. There are 4. So I actually watched all of them in 2-3 months, I think, and I was watching it excessively, but it was one of them series that once it got to you in its grasp, it's sort of, you get captivated by it, you get interested in it, you just want to watch the next episode all the time, and that's like the advantage of having the DVD series, that you don't need to wait until the next episode is on. I mean, with digital TV, everything has changed. You could watch the next thing probably. I don't really know. I don't actually watch a lot of TV, to be honest. Don't have all that much time for it. So yes, but that's the things that definitely the series that I like best, as far as it goes right now, because of course there's a lot of good series around. People talking to me about Game of Thrones and all that kind of stuff. Not my style, I guess. Not something that I would watch, but I can understand if people like to see it, definitely. So yes, science fiction. How did it? Also because of my dad, I actually got into science fiction. Like Star Wars was the first movie that I've seen, probably, or the first movies, because the old ones were out back then. I think the first one was just out. And I sort of like excessively watching those when I had a free moment at home, and I was sort of bombarded with English constantly. I bombarded myself maybe a little bit with English, and I think that's helped me develop the English that I master now, the English that I control right now in my soul. But as in control, I don't mean that I am a fluent speaker. I mean, I speak fluent enough to be spontaneous and doing commentaries, but it's definitely not the case that I've learned everything, that I'm confident about everything that I say on YouTube. So I'm still sort of afraid to make mistakes and all that kind of stuff. You probably hear it that I'm not a native English speaker, so but yeah, I think I did decently well with this English business. Almost empty. So if I would have to give you a music tip, something that I'm going to try to do, the song of the week, sort of, a song of the day. One song that I enjoyed particularly today was If You Can't Hang from Sleeping with Sirens. So Sleeping with Sirens, look it up, If You Can't Hang. A very loud song, a very noisy song, but for Sleeping with Sirens, I guess it's sort of moderate, but I definitely enjoyed listening to it today. So yes, whenever my cover is ready, I'll probably post a link to the channel that is sort of a hobby channel of mine with the girl that actually sings. So yes, and she sings, I play the guitar. I can't sing, to be honest. I try, but I cannot. Sometimes, occasionally on parties, whenever there's nobody confident enough about singing, I start singing, but that's basically, it's not a very wise thing for me to do, because my voice is in any way not trained, to be honest. Hell yes, guys, it's empty. Well, not entirely. Okay guys, it's empty. I shall see you next episode. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this. It was new to me, so I apologize if it wasn't entertaining. But I shall see you guys later. I love you, tigers. Have a nice day. Live long and prosper.